Who cares about health care when you cannot put food on the table? You have millions
SNAP
of Americans.
benefits are important too.
You have a lot of Americans that are going to be without food stamps.
So you want the
because of
Democrats to sign on to funding the government
And this is why
in a situation in which the premiums will double for Americans who already have a difficult time paying for their health insurance.
What is the difference?
What is the difference of the bill? What is the difference for the bill
about the
that you
well-being of the
voted for?
American
What is the
people
difference?
at all?
Hannah Kasparian from the Young Turks joined Abby Phillip on CNN for a fiery discussion centered around the government shutdown, SNAP assistance, and healthcare subsidies under the ACA. During the segment, Anna Kasparian faced off against two strong MAGA voices, Harrison Fields and Joe Borelli, leading to a charged and passionate debate. We're about to review a few clips from that conversation featuring Abby Phillip, Anna Kasparian, and the rest of the panel. And I've got plenty to say about it too. This one's definitely worth watching. Let's get into it.
Tonight, panic is setting in for tens of millions of Americans who are now at risk of losing critical food assistance. The Department of Agriculture has warned that the money that funds the SNAP program, better known as food stamps, will run out by this Saturday. And the Trump administration is saying that it will not tap into emergency funds in order to pay for it. SNAP provides aid to low-income families, seniors, people with disabilities, so that they can afford groceries. And it's a key pillar of the social safety net. Nearly 42 million Americans rely on SNAPs, or about 1 in 8 people. It provides an average monthly benefit of $188 per person. Now, the shutdown has dragged on for 27 days now, and it's on track to being the longest ever, if lawmakers can't come up with a solution to reopen it, even though most are not even in Washington anymore.
I don't know what the Democrats are doing other than publicity stunts, but I can tell you the House Republicans are doing some of the most meaningful work of their careers. So I don't want to pull them away from that work right now when their insight and their counsel and their assistants and those of their staff, who, by the way, aren't getting paid soon, that is most essentially needed right now back home.
You know, this is the shutdown that could very well just not end because nobody seems to be that interested in ending it. But for Americans who are on SNAP, this weekend is going to be where they're going to have to face the reality that, honestly, $188 in this economy is not even a whole lot of money for food, but it's going to go away.
I mean, luckily we have the money to bail out Argentina to the tune of $40 billion. And by bailing out Argentina, of course, the Trump administration is helping to bail out the hedge funds invested in Argentina. It's not a good look when the Republican Party won't concede on the one thing that's important here, which is add the subsidies to the Affordable Care Act so people's health care premiums don't double. And that's it. That's what the Democrats are asking for. But Republicans refuse to sign on to that. And if we're going to keep having this dysfunctional government situation or congressional situation year after year, I mean, they're still collecting my taxes. Why are they collecting my taxes? For what? And what's the important work that Mike Johnson is doing right now and the Republicans are doing right now? Does anyone know? I mean, there's some Republicans on the panel right now. Can you guys tell me the important work they're doing?
All Republicans want is for Democrats to do what Democrats have demanded others do time and time again. Mm-hmm. What Democrats themselves have done: vote for clean CRs.
Do you think that premium should double? Do you think premium should double?
The premium that your party chose to have subsidies end.
This is a product of the Democratic Party's own doing.
Should the premiums double?
And now they're looking and they're trying to point the finger at the Republican Party.
It's a simple question. Should the premiums double?
Should they open up the government? The answer is yes.
The government
will
open
up the government
if they
we can get
give
into
the Democrats the one thing they're asking for, which is a just issue.
You want to talk about premiums, and we just talked about SNAP benefits. Who cares about health care when you cannot put food on the table? You have millions
SNAP
of Americans.
benefits are important too.
You have a lot of Americans that are going to be without food stamps.
So you want the Democrats to sign on to funding the government in a situation in which the premiums will double for Americans who already have a difficult time paying for their health insurance.
What is the difference? What is the difference of the bill? What is the difference for the bill that you voted for?
What is the difference?
There is a big difference.
This is the new Democratic Party.
I have to say, it's amazing to get lectures on how much you care about SNAP benefits.
Because I have family members on SNAP.
Then why did you support the president when he asked for and got $186 billion of cuts to SNAP?
They were cleaning up the program from waste, fraud, and abuse.
Oh my
you
God,
and I both
that
know
is
that.
all ridiculous.
Because you cannot
people
have a program.
Go hungry
No.
From those SNAP
straw man's
cuts.
argument.
No,
you cannot have
those people. I'm sorry. You just paid for 186. You took $186 billion out of the SNAP program. $186 billion that will go
waste, fraud, and abuse.
It's not waste, fraud, and abuse.
It
will. You like to say that, but it's actually false.
Look at what we actually did.
Money, and you
but this is the overall problem. What you're mad about is the passage of one big beautiful bill. You guys have to realize that elections have consequences, and your side lost.
Hold on 1 second. Just on the waste, fraud, and abuse point. Over the last 15 years, SNAP fraud has fallen from 4% to 1%. So there's already very little fraud in the SNAP program, according to the government.
$180 billion is a lot more.
Dude, the Pentagon hasn't passed a single
regardless
audit.
regardless of that, I mean, people who are on the program right now are going to not have benefits. I think it's interesting because the Trump administration says, there's $6 billion in the emergency fund. $8 billion is needed to cover the month of November. They're saying that they can't use that money because that money needs to be set aside for, hurricanes and other emergencies. But they've been willing to move money around for all kinds of other
for aviation safety.
All kinds of other. They've been willing to move money around for all kinds of other reasons. The question is, why not this one? Tara, let me let Tara have a moment.
We have to all acknowledge that these are political games that are being played by both sides.
Of course, it's politics.
The Democrats could open the government tomorrow, but they are using an old Republican tactic of closing the government to have leverage right now.
Who closed the government? This is the Democrats who closed it.
But they are doing it for leverage. And
the Democrats
Republicans realize that the Democrats are not
You have
holding,
the number
so
two
now
in the
they
House.
are withholding SNAP
You have the
benefits,
number
which
two
they
House
could also
Democrats
do-
saying that this is a leverage play.
In 2018, they had the same
It's
risk.
2025.
No, in 2018, they had the same risk of losing food stamps, SNAP benefits, and they went into another reserve to cover it during Trump's longest shutdown. Okay.
Anna Kasparian made several powerful points during that discussion, starting with a simple but important question. Why do we even pay taxes if not to improve the lives of our own citizens? Yet MAGA commentators like Harrison Fields, who behaves much like Scott Jennings by constantly interrupting and repeating baseless claims, prefer to focus on buzzwords like waste, fraud, and abuse. As Abby Phillip pointed out, those issues have already been reduced significantly from around 4% to just 1%. When you look at the data, as of May 2025, the average family is receiving about $350 per month in assistance, and Anna Kasparian highlighted the absurd contrast between that and the $40 billion being sent to Argentina to bail out hedge funds. Stories like these rarely make it onto mainstream television, where Donald Trump tries to frame it as aid for suffering people in Argentina, when in reality, it's about rescuing billionaires. One of Trump's close associates reportedly lost big there, and now wealthy investors are being saved with taxpayer money. As Anna Kasparian rightly said, there always seems to be plenty of money for foreign bailouts or pet projects backed by Republicans, but not enough for our own citizens struggling to make ends meet or for programs like the ACA. Her comment, "You guys really don't care about people's lives?" rings painfully true. MAGA pundits such as Harrison Fields pretend to care about working families and SNAP benefits, but their actions tell a different story. The Trump administration has openly aimed to eliminate programs like SNAP and ACA subsidies, refusing even to use reserve funds to keep them running. So, when these right-wing commentators question why Democrats aren't protecting these programs, the truth is simple. Republicans are getting exactly what they've wanted all along. Fewer social benefits, a weaker safety net, and federal workers left unpaid. It's their vision of victory, even if it comes at the cost of ordinary Americans.
The point is that both are withholding funds.
You all are ignoring. You all are ignoring.
Just sit down and actually talk.
So let's just address what she said, because she's arguing, and I think there's good reason to believe that obviously there are political games being played here. Democrats are keeping the government shut down until they get concessions on health care. And the Trump administration, which in the past has used other funds to cover SNAP benefits, is not doing it now. Why?
Okay, we have to step back for a moment. The Democrats have been getting rolled for the past 9 months by the President of the United States. They haven't had an answer for how to get after what the president has been doing, his historic agenda. So now they have their rally around the flag moment. We're going to stick it to Trump. Who they're really sticking it to is the American people. They're holding this government hostage for what?
Let's just address.
If you open up the government, we can get to these negotiations about SNAP.
Let me re-ask you the question that I asked you, which is that we know that the Trump administration of the past has been willing to use other funds to cover SNAP benefits. We know that the Trump administration of present has been willing to use other funds to cover other emergency needs for people that need to be paid. Why will they not do this on the issue of food on the table for children under 5, children 5 to 17,
very clear who's going to be impacted.
Adults over 60 years old, people with disabilities? I mean, is the answer as simple as they're not going to give Democrats anything, and maybe they think that this is going to hurt Democrats more?
If
That's
you
exactly
open up
right.
the government, guess
That's
what
exactly
happens?
right.
But
people get SNAP benefits again. You're pointing the
again,
finger at the president
I'm
of the
not
United
pointing the
States
finger at
when
the
it's the
president. I'm just
Democratic Party
asking
that is
whether-
holding the government
Listen,
hostage. Who came out today and
Tara's
said
a
this
journalist,
shutdown
so
has
she's
to
able
end?
to sort of put the politics
The
on the table.
Federal Workers
You're
Union
not
said this has to
acknowledging-
end.
You're not willing to acknowledge that politics is at play here. Is
What
it at
I'm
play?
saying is that the Democrats are playing politics with this shutdown.
Yeah,
Have
I
Republicans done it in
Yeah,
the
both
past?
sides are playing politics. That's very
1000%.
clear.
Granted, hold on one second. Granted,
need 4
hold on one
Democrats
second,
in the
Harrison.
Senate. 4.
Granted, the Democrats are playing politics with the shutdown.
With American people's
They are
lives.
playing the very same shutdown game that Trump and Republicans played in his first administration.
Are we dealing with the shutdown of 2018?
But now you're playing the
Hold on a
whataboutism,
Let's
right?
talk about
You're
today.
playing
I'm
the
just saying,
whataboutism.
these are political games.
Can
Hold on
I-
a second.
But you know what?
No,
The people on
just
SNAP
hold on a
benefits
second.
don't care about
I'm
that.
asking you.
They don't care about it.
Will you acknowledge that the withholding of SNAP benefits in this moment is something that Trump doesn't have to do?
The administration can look at many ways to solve this problem. Look at what they're doing for our troops. Look at what they're doing for aviation safety. Is there a way to do it? I bet you Secretary Rollins is
Yes,
looking at it.
there- so
but the
there is.
one
Okay,
thing,
so there's- yeah.
I
you
appreciate
acknowledge-
that.
No,
Listen,
Can you acknowledge that if the Democrats open up the government, we don't have to have a conversation about
Can I
SNAP?
just make a point
Hold on
here?
one second, everybody. Just a second. Let me just say, I appreciate that you acknowledge that there are options on the table. They're not being utilized.
If you could acknowledge that the Democrats can open up the
secondary-
government and this problem won't be a problem.
literally
You
just
don't
said
think that one
The
concession to
secondary-
Democrats is okay? Like just
It's not-
one
it's not
concession,
just
which is
one
the
concession.
subsidies for the
No.
Affordable Care
Not
Act,
to
so
show-
premiums
to hold
don't
up this
double.
entire
That's
government?
the one thing they're asking for.
When we got people on furlough?
One
No.
thing.
Hold on,
Can
let
I
me
just
just
Because we
let-
know what the
No,
sanctions
because we
about.
love that premiums
Because
are
you're
going to
mad-
double.
because
We
you're
love
mad
it.
that
We
we
love it.
passed
Let
one
all
big,
these Americans
beautiful bill.
suffer.
I think we're really
Just a
sad
second.
with you guys.
Go ahead.
Can I just say how I predict this will end? This will end. I'm not sure who will wave the white flag first. I doubt it will be Trump, but he will end up giving the concession of the subsidies. He's already said it. He knows that it's
Yeah.
impacting
He
Why not
said
do it
it.
now?
He said it. Mike
this is
Johnson
all
has said
about-
it. They've all said
If you
that they're
open up
going
the
to
government,
deal
you
with
can
the
have
What's
this
subsidies.
ridiculous,
conversation.
honestly,
Abby,
is that Trump has said it's an issue. Mike Tillis has said it's an issue. Senator Tillis has said an issue. What they're really negotiating at this point, basically Thune and others
It's
are
the
basically like,
timing.
let's
No,
keep
it's
the
the
government
timing. No,
closed.
let me
Let's
answer
keep
the
the timing.
negotiation.
This
They
is
are
the
negotiating.
negotiation over
Democrats are already
timing.
getting
What the
It's
Democratic Party is
ridiculous.
doing, they're doing the equivalent of
No.
a guy down at the Port Authority bus stop putting a gun to your head and saying, "Give me your money." That's what a shutdown is. It's brinkmanship. It's forcing a negotiation.
We're here today.
And I guarantee you would have said it's wrong if they do it.
Can
My
I-
two friends
can
would
I-
say it's
can I-
wrong.
can I-
All we're asking
can I-
Democrats to do is what Democrats said they should do time and time again. They voted for the clean CR 13
This is
times.
what
This
Democrats
is not
do.
new. They can vote for the CR. They can take the gun out of the head of the American
But let
taxpayers.
me just
They can
say,
take the gun
Joe,
out of the head of the 42
I've
million
asked,
people
hold
that
on
are
a
going
second. I've asked this a couple of times because I just think that let's just put ourselves in the position of a regular human being, American, just out there living their lives. They want to be able to have the government do what their tax dollars are asking them to do. I think that both sides are overestimating the degree to which anybody cares who is responsible, who will be blamed.
100%.
I agree.
If there is an issue of their premiums going up, they would like that issue resolved. That's what the polling says. And they don't care whether it happens after somebody claims victory because the government is reopened or not.
So to your point, I don't think they care.
I'm just saying, if I'm a regular person, they're asking why, if you're going to do it anyway, why not just do it now?
Listen.
Can I just ask-
So wait, hold on. Point stipulated. I don't think the average American cares which side is doing it. That's why it's so fundamentally stupid that the Democrats are continuing to harm.
Just imagine this. Republicans refuse to even seat a duly elected Democratic member of Congress, yet we're supposed to believe they'll negotiate in good faith with an administration that's been trampling over laws, norms, and even the Constitution itself. It's like watching them bulldoze the White House, which perfectly captures the essence of the Trump era and today's MAGA-driven Republican Party. During the debate, Joe Borelli and Harrison Fields suggested simply reopening the government first and negotiating later, which is laughable. That's like agreeing to everything the other side demands and hoping they'll play fair afterward, a setup we've seen too many times before. It's the classic Lucy and the football scenario, where Democrats give in only to have the deal yanked away at the last second. As Anna Kasparian rightly emphasized, Republicans, MAGA loyalists, and Trump's inner circle, including the ones who go on Abby Phillip's show and constantly talk over others, don't actually care about SNAP benefits or ACA subsidies. In truth, they wish these programs didn't exist because they don't believe everyday Americans deserve such support. Their priority has always been funneling resources to their wealthy allies. Yet pundits like Joe Borelli and Harrison Fields keep pretending Democrats are the ones holding the country hostage, insisting that if Democrats would just reopen the government, everything could be settled later. But history shows they never follow through. It's always the same pattern: make promises, break them, and mock anyone who believed them. So, what do you think? Do you agree with Anna Kasparian's points tonight, or do you side with voices like Neera Tanden, Abby Phillip, or the MAGA duo of Joe Borelli and Harrison Fields? Who's really responsible for keeping the government shut down? The Democrats or the Republicans? Share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video.